Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how you can make a homemade puzzle with just a piece of paper, 4 crayons, and a pair of children's scissors. So first what you're going to have them do is put down their paper the long way on the table and then have them choose 4 different colors of crayons and then ask them to choose one to start. So we'll start with purple, and we're going to have them draw a zigzag line down the middle of the page. If this is too tricky for them, then mom, dad, whoever is home with them, will take their pencil and you draw the zigzag line and have your child trace over it with the crayon. So work with them wherever they are. The second color, you're going to take a horizontal wavy line across the middle of the page. You want the shapes and the lines to overlap. The third color, you're going to make one line on one side of the page. And then the last color, same thing, a vertical line on the opposite side of the page. So when you're done, this is what your paper should look like. Again, if you need to trace the lines for your child, you write them and then they can trace them. Take that paper and find your scissors. See if they can remember the order in which they drew the lines. So ask them which line they drew first, and that's where you're going to start cutting. So when you're cutting, you want them to have a thumbs up position with their scissors. So thumb should be pointing up to the sky. Wrist should be neutral, so try and avoid this position, try and avoid this. You want it to be in line with the rest of the forearm. They should be pointing away from them the entire time they cut and holding the paper with their opposite hand. So in order to make sure that they aren't starting to turn the scissors into them and hiking up their shoulder and their elbow, I like to tell them to turn the paper instead of the scissors. So keep the scissors relatively still, but turn the paper, and I'll show you what that looks like. So as they cut, then they're using their opposite hand to turn the paper. They get to a corner, they turn the paper. See how the scissors stay relatively still here. Turn the paper and turn the paper. So when you're done with that, you should have 2 pieces of paper that looks like this. You can already see that a puzzle is starting to form. Then you're going to have them ask them which line they did second. And they should remember it's the wavy line, or maybe they'll remember the color. Again, cut on the wavy line, having them turn the paper rather than the scissors. And it is really tricky with wavy lines, so just remind them to go slow. And on the other side as well. And then after they cut the wavy line, they should have 4 pieces of paper. Okay, and then you're going to ask them which line they drew third, and they will remember which one. If they don't, you can remind them, and they're just cutting the straight line. Again, cutting away from them, thumbs up with the scissors. Just make sure to keep checking each time. And then you will have 6 pieces after that step. And then last but not least, you're going to cut the very last line that they drew. And after this step, you will have 8 pieces. So right away, you can tell that you have the pieces of a homemade puzzle. What you're going to have them do is rearrange them to make the rectangle of the paper again. Now, you can make this easier by starting to help them out and form shapes together that might fit close to one another. Try and find the edges that match. Or to make it harder, you can really rearrange the pictures and the shapes to make it even more challenging. And then they'll slowly start to put them back together. It's okay if they use trial and error. You can use cues like matching the colors to help them, matching the shapes, turning the paper. Make sure that all their paper starts with the color side up so that they can use that to their advantage. So right away, you're going to give them those clues and see what they can do, and just see if they can try to match the lines back up with the shapes. Just like that. Now, if your child is having a hard time or doesn't have interest in doing the puzzle, you can still build in fine motor by having them make the puzzle for their older sibling or for one of their parents to complete. Have fun. Let me know if you have any questions or need help making it harder or easier. Enjoy!